Okay, so I thought it would be cool to go through the entire process that I go through when preparing a guest hosted interview conversation to be posted online. And this is just how I'm doing it. I created a rough outline on how I'm going to conduct this video. It's going to be, again, because it's live, it's going to be quite long, but feel free to skip ahead into the different parts that maybe you find interesting. But as I go through these different points, I'm actually going to just give my thought process as I'm in the process of doing these different areas so that you have an understanding of why I am doing what I'm doing. And so this is currently the process that I take right now. And of course, that means that it can change. But this is just so you have somewhat of a guideline and outline to follow if you want to, do this yourself, or especially if in the beginning, you're a beginner podcaster, you're probably going to be doing most of the work yourself. And so this is how I'm going to go through it. I have no clue how long it's going to take because normally I have this broken up into different days and it's, I just kind of do it here and there, bits and pieces. But now I'm going to attempt to do it in one shot. So this is exactly what I'm going to be doing. This is the outline. We're going to import the video into Descript from Squadcast, clip the post, conversation, banter, find clips for the intro, edit the intro, export the intro, make the conversation dynamic with Multicam view, add intro, publish to YouTube, publish audio for Spotify, come up with a title, add description, create the thumbnails, schedule YouTube, and schedule Spotify. So as you can see, it's quite a number of steps, but this is basically editing a podcast from A to Z. So let's start from the beginning. Import into Descript from Squadcast. So this is a cheat, but I actually went ahead and did this already just because I didn't want the process to take too long, although it's still going to be quite long. But so I already had it imported into Descript. And just in case you didn't know, Squadcast is the platform that I use to do the conversations. And because they recently merged with Descript, it just makes this process super easy to edit the podcast. So let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to do is we're going to take out this ridiculous pause in the beginning. And I just want you guys to know how I do my podcast, how I edit my podcast conversations is I want them to be as raw and authentic as possible. So in the conversation itself, I'm going to probably do almost no editing. So pauses, double clutches, tangents. I'm not going to take out any of that stuff. Everything is just going to stay in just because the conversation is just supposed to reflect having a regular conversation with a friend. And when you're having a regular conversation, you don't take out pauses and, thinking about ideas, etc. But what I do is take out the beginning and then I'm going to take out the end because after the podcast ends, I do what I call a post conversation banter. And so that doesn't need to stay in the regular podcast episode. I'm just going to take that out. And I think it was, what I can also do is just search for by. Let's see. Oh, no, so that's part of the podcast. I probably said peace. Yeah, let's see. Let's see.
May he rest in peace. He passed away, I think.
Oh, peace. I want to thank you again, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace. And then here, there's a pause, and then I'm like, all right, Rico, let the cameras roll, bro. So this is basically the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of this. And as you can see, post, interview, banter is usually quite extensive sometimes. Let me just command up. So 36 minutes. And what I'm going to do is hit, I work on a Mac. 1 second. I bet you've never seen your, let me see, is the lighting? Nah, the lighting is fine, whatever. Okay, let's continue. I'm gonna add this to a new composition. So I usually do the duplicate to new composition, Shift Command C. I could have used a shortcut, but yeah, this is how I add it to a new composition. And so basically, that's going to be added to a new composition, so I can delete all of this. So let's get that deleted. And so the ending of the conversation ends here. And just so you have an idea where that composition went, if I go to projects, this is the entire interview, and this is the post. So one thing I'm gonna do here on the main conversation is just change the title so I know exactly what we are. So this is episode 14 of the Bow Pod, and I think I normally do something like this. Not so sure, but anyway, I'm just gonna do Rico Lazo. So then I know this is the full episode. You're going to see that change here under compositions. And what I like to do here is add a folder. I'm going to add a folder for post. And I'm just going to slide this in here. And then we're going to just call this, we're going to call this full post conversation banter. And the reason I do this, I put it in a folder, is just because when I do go through, let's say, the post conversation banter, and I want to get some clips to share, I can just keep it saved under this folder. So that way I just keep everything organized. I'm also going to one time create another folder for intro. Just so I can, we don't want that in here, we want that here. So now we did that. We clipped the post conversation banter, and now let's find clips for intro, and then we're going to edit the intro and then export it. When it comes to the intro, this is something that I'm still experimenting with, and one of my favorite podcasters, Omar Altakrori, he puts a lot of effort into the intro, just because it sets the scene for the conversation that's coming up. And so that's something that I've been also trying to do, is create an intro that's roughly a minute to a minute and a half long, so 60 to 90 seconds. And that intro I do edit and cut up just so that it creates some intrigue, some insight into what people can expect in the conversation. And if you tie that together with the title of the conversation, it just gets people, the curiosity built up. So I don't necessarily have a set process for the intro. I just kind of go through the conversation and just start highlighting some bits and pieces that I think might make for a good intro. So I'm probably going to be quiet and just going to go through the conversation and just do some listening. And let's see, maybe I'm going to listen on a high speed and just get a feel for, what's going on in the conversation. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we're at it again. Today's conversation is with a very special guest. It's a good friend of mine that I've come to grow close to over the last, I think it's 5 years. He's a fellow content creator, he's a communications coach, and we've actually been working alongside each other for the last year, I believe. And I'm stoked to just have this conversation with him. I'm happy he agreed. His name is Rico Lazo, and so I want to welcome Rico to the podcast. It's finally happening, Rico. What's going through your mind right now?
I'm sitting here in awe and also just with a lot of pride seeing what you're doing, Andy. So I'm very happy to come onto your show and share some insights and looking forward to your questions.
Okay, he's a communications coach. So this process, I'm not going to think about too much. I'm just going to, before I do that, let's just change these names because this is Andy. And then generally, I like to make my color purple and then Rico. I like to make my guest green. And then also 1 second for the tracks. We're gonna I want to rename the tracks, so we're gonna edit sequence, Shift Command O. Track 1, I'm gonna call Andy, and track 2, I'm gonna call Rico. And then we close this, and then that should be edited here on the side. Okay, so he's a communications coach. He's a fellow content creator, communications coach. All right, so I'm gonna highlight this so we have him in the conversation. Again, I'm not so sure if I'm gonna use it, but I'm gonna do Shift Command C to add it to a new composition. And then here on the side, I can see, yeah, here it is. This is the clip. So I'm just gonna drag it here on the intro for now. And he says, I'm very happy to come on the show and share some insights and looking forward to your questions. Now, let's just copy that. I'm gonna add that there. Let's go back to the conversation. And this is the nice thing I like about this script is that you can just, in the different compositions, just look at compositions as different clips, that you want to create to publish. And so you can just easily like click and go back and forth. So let's just listen.
This month? June of 2018, now that I think about it.
So we're talking about how long we know each other.
I bring that up and I'll answer your question is that somebody said in that bank, the two of you are doing a podcast episode together. I would have been like, get out of here, man. What are you talking about? What are you smoking? I'm in Amsterdam, but what are you smoking, No, but so to answer your question, I've had the good fortune. I would say it's probably been the best part of my life, just having the privilege to live in many different places. I was born in Chicago, but I grew up in Colorado, in southern Colorado. And really, I guess my parents were divorced. My dad lived in Denver. I grew up in Pueblo. And so I spent a lot of time on the road shuttling back and forth with my mom's, my dad's. And my dad, really inspired me to travel. But before that, my mom, she moved us to San Jose, California, my freshman year of high school, which was an eye-opening experience. And from there, when I was in college, I did 2 different study abroads. So one was in Mexico, one was in Puerto Rico, and that's really where the travel bug hit me. And I just wanted to continue traveling. After graduating from college, I spent 6 months in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Then I moved back to the States. I lived in Mexico again. Then I moved to Colombia, back to the States, to Amsterdam, back to the States, to Colombia again. Now I'm finally back in the United States. We'll see how long that lasts. So mostly Latin America, but I did that year stint in Amsterdam.
And moving around in those different places, what insights and experiences that you've had abroad that lives with you right now? Okay, so as I'm listening to this, what I have to keep in mind is, okay, Rico is a communications coach. And in our conversation, some topics that we touched on that really spoke to me was his relationship with his father, just because, it makes me think on my relationship with my father, but also, his coaching, that he's a coach. And so I think I want to incorporate some of that inside of the conversation. So I'm just going to search for dad and then see.
But my dad was less. But my dad was less. What's the word? Like loving in a feel-good way. You know, we connected on different ways. My mom was a very doting and generous person with her time and energy, and my dad, he's like a poet and musician and artist, and he always was doing these cool artistic things. But I think in terms of parenthood or fatherhood, I think there were some things that he probably just didn't really even realize he was maybe not embracing, and so it definitely impacted me. My mom growing up was like my everything.
Okay, so I want to get some help here. So I'm going to go to Underlord and I'm going to ask for. I'm kind of skipping ahead, but I want to ask for some title. I just want to. Oh, one sec. No. Undo. What do you want? Title. I want to ask for a title. No, done. Give me title suggestions. So Underlord is basically the AI for this script. Let's see what we have here. Journey of transformation, building resilience, finding purpose after divorce. Oh yeah, that was also another interesting topic. Coaching Chronicles, a conversation with Rico, transformation. Travel, trauma, and triumph, from burnout to breakthrough. The power of storytelling, life's best teacher, living abroad, personal growth. Okay, yeah, so some background on Rico. Rico's a life coach as well, or communications coach. And so something along those lines I want to incorporate in the title. Okay, so we're just gonna keep these in mind and just have a listen. Let's see what we have here. 100%. Axiom. I've never had the fortune. Oh, I've had the fortune, yeah.
Oh, 100%. I think that, there's this debate of nature versus nurture, nature being, genetically, how you are and what you're predisposed to. But I think nurture has a big impact. And when your parents are divorced, that automatically means you have two different households. And you can imagine that no two households are like. My mother was much stricter and really focused on education. My dad was much more laissez-faire, kind of let us do whatever, a lot less structure. But my dad was less, what's the word? Like loving in a feel-good way. We connected on different ways. My mom was a very doting and generous person with her time and energy. And my dad, he's like a poet and musician and artist, and he always was doing these cool artistic things. But I think in terms of parenthood or fatherhood, I think there were some things that he probably just didn't really even realize he was maybe not embracing. And so it definitely impacted me. My mom growing up was like my everything. My dad, in many ways, I kind of look back right now, was more friend than a father figure. I think I really needed a stronger father figure in my life. My mom, to be married, I grew up with a stepdad. That's always really different than just having your own two biological parents in the house. But
Okay. Let's see, Rico. So as you can see, when it comes to the intro, it's a slow process, because in order to have a good intro, I guess I need to have an idea of what the title of the episode is going to be, so I have more of a direction on where I want to build a curiosity in the intro. So let's see. Okay.
I don't speak divorce now, I don't know.
Okay, this
Maybe
is
divorce, my dad did that.
the first time mentioning divorce. I'm going to put that on 2-speed. Okay, so I kind of like this. Divorce, but I think that my daughter was so much more fair. I love and feel good way. Okay, so this is long, but it's not necessary I'm going to use all of this, but I just want to have it in here. So I'm just going to have that in here. And then as we go along, and I like, oh yeah, I should add this as well. Stronger father figure in my life. Okay. How that must have impacted you.
No, like my parents are together. I'm not gonna say it was all. How do you say? Flowers and rainbows. Have you ever? I'm just curious. Like again, this is just a casual conversation. So, have you ever spoken to your father about that period?
Okay, so we're not gonna go too much into the. Wait. Yeah, we're not gonna go too much into the father stuff. So I guess what I'm thinking as I'm creating this is Rico talking about his father kind of gives somewhat of an insight into him as a person. And so I don't want to drill in too much on that. So now I can probably look for another aspect to talk about, something maybe related to coaching, communications coaching, life coaching. Nope, coach. Let's see what we have here on coaching.
It's wonderful swim coach in high school who is
Wonderful swim
being
coach.
coached is a privilege.
I truly believe that because it's a privilege, but an investment in yourself is like the cheat code to gain skills more quickly because I work with somebody who's further along in the journey and it's like a fast track to success. Okay, so I like that. I like that a lot. So we could probably do something with that. Back to underload.
Was a life coach. Interviewing this life coach made a big impact. A life coaching program.
How to be coached. That's quite a journey, quite a series, fortunate encounters that has led from you going through divorce, post-pandemic, and leading up to you. Okay, so now I'm thinking, okay, should it be somewhat of a, we looked at the title the title suggestions, we saw transformation in there. And now kind of like the journey that I'm highlighting here is how Rico has gone from life coach, from divorce or experiencing divorce, and also being divorced, divorcee himself, to finding life coaching. So let's see,
I think marriage and divorce are just two things that are for a lot of people very important, and I think they are important. But I think for me, divorce really impacted me because once my ex-wife and I decided to formally, end our relationship via the divorce, I thought people were going to be much more communicative with me. I thought people were really going to reach out and say, "Hey, Rico, how's it going? Check in with you." And that wasn't really the case. And I don't want to blame my family or friends. I think maybe in some ways, maybe I was a bit standoffish. Maybe I wasn't asking for help. And so I think one of the big lessons that really came out of divorce was that I needed to live life in a different way. I think in some ways I was kind of a lone wolf and kind of did things independently. Just really didn't ask for help, didn't lean on people, didn't really try to cultivate my interests and really embrace my passions in terms of getting involved in different communities. And I had friends, of course, but they weren't necessarily friends that I did a lot of things that I like to do in my free time apart from, hanging out, going to a concert or what have you. But I think the divorce impacted me both positively and negatively. Negatively, emotionally, it was very tough. It was a sense that 10 years is not nothing. I mean, 10 years, it's like, it's like almost like you did this, not saying a prison term, but like, you have this life that you built up and then suddenly that life is over. So whatever you had before, it's just a whole new thing. So it was very traumatic to go through that. From financially, emotionally, psychologically, romantically, everything changed. Everything, my whole life, I blew my whole life. I mean, I quit my job, I got divorced, and I moved from Denver to Brooklyn, all within the span of like 4 months. And so, we talked a lot about Will Smith, brick by brick.
Okay, so I also like this. This is a very good section. Divorce impacted me both positively and negatively. And then here he kind of really goes into more of the negative side of the impact. I blew up the previous wall and so I've been in the process of rebuilding my life brick by brick. But that's been the positive thing that's come out. That's chance to be reborn, right? The phoenix. Okay. Let's add that. Okay. Just put an extra space here so I know. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I'm thinking this I might probably cut because it's like kind of like fluff. And we just like really get right into it. And so maybe here, one of the first things, so I'm just gonna strike all of this through. One sec, what did I do? Oh. Oh no, it's just command backspace. Sorry.
One of the first things you mentioned early was your parents being divorced.
Was your parents being divorced? Then do you feel like that has affected you in any way? Boom. Let's take out this. And that's another great thing that I love about Descript is like you basically edit the video as if you were editing a text document. So let's put this back at regular play speed.
One of the first things you mentioned early was your parents being divorced. Do you feel like that has affected you?
Being divorced, anything? Yeah.
Divorced. Do you feel like that has affected you in any way?
Oh, 100%. I think that
100%. I like that. But I think in nurture has. When your parents are divorced, that automatically means you have two different households. Okay, 100%. So let's try this. When I say when your parents are divorced, that means you have two different households. You imagine, or like my mother. I'm gonna take this out. My mother was much stricter and really focused on education. My dad was much more laissez-faire. A lot less structure. Well, what I want to do here, so my mother was much stricter and really focused on education. We're going to piece some stuff here, focus on education, and then we're going to say, but my mom was very doting and generous with her time and energy.
My mother was much stricter and really focused on education, but my mom was a very doting and generous person with her time and energy.
A lot less structure. He's like a poet and musician artist. And he was always doing these cool artistic things. But I think in terms of fatherhood, he probably just didn't even realize he was maybe not embracing. And so that definitely impacted me. Okay. Let me just listen to this, see how this sounds.
One of the first things you mentioned early was your parents being divorced. Do you feel like that has affected you in any way?
Oh, 100%. When your parents are divorced, that automatically means you have two different households. My mother was much stricter and really focused on education. My mom was a very doting and generous person with her time and energy. My dad was much more
My mother was strict on education. Then probably here, I could just take this out very
focused on education, very doting and generous person with her time and energy. My dad was much more laissez, a lot less structure.
up, laissez-faire.
My dad was much more laissez-faire, a lot less structure. He's like a poet and a musician and an artist, and he always was doing these cool artistic things. But I think in terms of fatherhood, I think there were some things that he probably just didn't really even realize he was maybe not embracing. And it definitely impacted me.
And it definitely impacted me. Nice. And then we go on. Getting coaching is a privilege, but an investment in yourself is like the cheat code. Let's go back. Let me look for this section.
Getting coached, I just wasn't finding it in work. And so I decided to ultimately invest in these different training programs. development.
That's quite a journey and quite a series of fortunate encounters that has okay, that's quite a journey. You going through a divorce post pandemic and then leading up to life coaching. I want to take some of this. We're gonna keep building. We're gonna keep building. We're gonna keep piecing things together. Let's put that here. So we're gonna take out this. That's quite a journey. You're going through a divorce post-pandemic. Then leading all the way to life coaching. Let's see how that goes.
Not embracing. And it definitely impacted me.
That's quite a journey. You're going through a divorce post-pandemic, then leading all the way to life coaching.
I truly believe that getting coached is a privilege, but an investment in yourself. It's like this cheat code to gain skills more quickly, because by working with somebody who's further along in their journey or their level of expertise than you are is like the fast track to success.
Mm-hmm. Let me see, how long is this so far? This is 1 minute and 9 seconds already. Let's see. One of the first things you mentioned was your parents being divorced. Do you feel that has affected you? 100%. When your parents are divorced, that automatically means you have 2 different households. Let's just got this, doing these cool. But in terms of fatherhood, I think there were some things I probably just didn't realize. And it definitely impacted me. And then the question I have is how did it impact you? And so let's go back here. Let's look for divorce again. Parents being divorced.
When your parents are divorced, divorce can impact you as an
I kind of actually like this more.
two different families, child of divorce, whatever you want to call it. But it definitely had a huge impact on me, and a lot of negative side effects, a lot of negative things, I think, that I wasn't even aware of. And I think one of the big ones for me probably was just not realizing how much it kind of made me go in my own shell. Like, I think
This was a deep conversation. This was whew. But I also want to
families.
we're gonna come back to that project intro. Let's just call this EP intro. 100%. Two different. Okay, so maybe we skip the whole mom and dad. When your parents are divorced, automatically means to. Let me see, two different households. Two different families. It definitely had a huge impact on me and a lot of negative side effects. A lot of negative side effects. That I wasn't even aware of. And I think one of the big ones for me probably was just not realizing how much it made me go into my shell. And then, okay, because that answers the question. That answers the question right away. So if we come back here, and then he spoke about in March of 2022. Different training programs. EP intro, let's go. Yeah, guys, as you can see, this is a process. Almost an hour into this recording already, and you know the intro. The intro still is the biggest thing, and so that's gonna take the most time. But this is basically kind of like the thought process on how I go through it. because I think not I think, but the rest of getting this whole episode put together is gonna be fair. Is gonna move fairly quicker once this intro is in place. It's kind of like that 80-20 rule. Focusing on the 20% of task, or in this case, the 20% of this whole production that will help to bring 80% of the value impact. Let's see, and I think one of the biggest ones for me is how much it go into my shell. So let's see if we put this section here, and then we can say in March of 2022, I had gone through a divorce. And I was just in need of deeper meaning. And this is a good transition need of deeper meaning. Come on, search for anything for me. I was on my own journey. Let's see if we do this. I was on my own journey. I knew I needed something that gave me more meaning. That's how you say it, ultimately invest. And so I decided to ultimately invest in different training programs. Okay, so this is a bit more condensed. Let's see if I just select this so far. This is 45 seconds. And then that's quite a journey. You're going through divorce, post-pandemic, then leading all the way up, all the way to life coaching. I truly believe that coaching is a privilege, but an investment in yourself. It's like this cheat code to gain skills more quickly because we're working with it. To success. Okay, so I like that. My shortcomings and everything will come being the best person myself. Everything, my whole life. can just say, like everything changed. Let me see. One of the what's it made me go into my I had gone through a divorce and I was just in need of deeper meaning. So this has got me infest. I'm recording different training pro. Let me see.
Everything changed. I had gone through a divorce. In March of 2020, everything changed. In March of 2020, I had gone through and
Had gone through a divorce. Everything changed. Had gone through.
I had gone through a divorce. Everything changed. I blew up my whole life. I had gone
span of life.
And that's, I think, been just the greatest opportunity to really be grateful for this second chance and to have this opportunity to be more aware of what it is that I want to do, my talents, my gifts, my shortcomings, and really working on being the best version of myself.
Okay, I think, and this might be the ending. Somewhere here might be my ending, where I go from training programs. That's quite a journey. You're going through this post-pandemic all the way to life coaching. And then where here he speaks about that's been the positive thing that's come out of it, that it's a chance to be reborn. The phoenix rising. Or now I'm rebuilding my life in the way that I want. Okay, I'm gonna come here. Rico, let's come out of it.
That it's his chance to be reborn.
It's not, this means this, that it's this chance to be reborn. Let me take away the question. And I truly believe that getting coached is a privilege, but an investment in yourself. It's like this cheat code too. And then We blank all of this out. Let's see. Okay, I think we have our intro after 1 hour. And let's see the timing. And the timing you can just see right here. 1 minute and 2 seconds. Okay, I like that. Let's listen. Or is it? No, it's a bit longer. 1 sec. 1 minute and 15 seconds.
One of the first things you mentioned early was your parents being divorced. Do you feel like that has affected you in any way?
Oh, 100%. 2 different households, 2 different families that definitely had a huge impact on me, and a lot of negative side effects that I wasn't even aware of. And I think one of the big ones for me probably was just not realizing how much it made me go in my own shell. In March of 2020, everything changed. I blew up my whole life. I quit my job. I had gone through a divorce. It was very traumatic, from financially, emotionally, psychologically, romantically. And I moved from Denver to Brooklyn, all within the span of like 4 months. And I was just in need of deeper meaning. And so I decided to ultimately invest in different training programs.
That's quite a journey. You going through a divorce post-pandemic, then leading all the way to life coaching.
That's been the positive thing that's come out of it, that it's this chance to be reborn. And I truly believe that getting coached is a privilege, but an investment in yourself. It's like this cheat code.
It's like this cheat code to boom. Okay. Let's get it. Just get it with my man Rico. I just wanted to check. Let me see if I revert this.
In March of 2022.
Yeah, so.
And
see the timeline here.
In March of 2022.
So. I actually want to cut this. I'll delete this.
Shell. In March of 2022, everything changed. I blew up my whole life. I quit my job. I had gone through a divorce. It was very traumatic, from financially, emotionally, psychologically, romantically. And I moved from Denver to Brooklyn, all within the span of like 4 months. So I got divorced in March of 2022.
Oh no, so we don't need this, sorry. And I can delete this again. And I was just in need.
Like 4 months. And I was just in need of deeper meaning. And so I decided to ultimately invest in different training programs.
That's quite a journey. You going through a divorce post-pandemic, then leading all the way to life coaching.
That's been the positive thing that's come out of it, that it's this chance to be reborn. And I truly believe that getting coached is a privilege, but an investment in yourself. It's like this cheat code to
Let me see this cheat code too. This cheat code. Okay. And then, ladies and gentlemen, and then from here, what we do is we're going to add, we're going to go here to media, not media, one sec. project. And then we're going to upload a file. And then the file that I want to look for is my intro sound. I need to actually put this in another folder, but you want to add this. We're going to go here. We're going to add this at the end because that's my boom. Okay. We have that, but we also need the zoom. So we're going to go here to media, search media. Sec. Music, and then the one I like is not this, no. Okay, I'm just gonna go to a different project and look for that zoom sound. So here, project intro. It's the trailer fast whoosh. That was it. Whoosh. So we're gonna go back here. I mean, there's probably a quicker way that I can, save this intro, but just kind of just showing you guys how I go through this. Whoosh. Trailer fast. Okay, so let's go back. Let's check that real quick. Can I... Trailer fast whoosh to subdrop. Can I copy this? Oh. I'm not sure, I'm not seeing it there. Anyway, let's go. Let's see if we can. Yes. Oh, I should have timeline again.
This cheat code to
Why does it sound so different though? Because I took off the layer off of this and made this 4. And did I change? No, didn't change anything else. Okay, so we're gonna go here, layer, Let's mute this.
To
Yeah. And then I'm gonna head back. Go again to music. Let me see if I can find this podcast intro. This has been my go-to intro. This is the Baupod intro soundtrack. And what I want to do is add on the scene. We want to add a ducking. And basically what ducking is it just keeps the volume of the layers, these music layers, lower than the speaker or the speakers who are talking at the time. And I usually bump this up to 16%. So basically this 16% is just saying every other layer that's not the speaker, put that volume up to 16%. So let's see. One of the first things you mentioned early was your parents being divorced. Do you feel like that has affected you in any way?
Oh, 100%. Two different households, two different families. That definitely had a huge impact on me. And a lot of negative side effects that I wasn't even aware of. And I think one of the big ones for me probably was just not realizing how much it made me go in my own shell. In March of 2022, everything changed. I blew up my whole life. I quit my job. I had gone through a divorce. It was very traumatic, from financially, emotionally, psychologically, romantically. And I moved from Denver to Brooklyn, all within the span of like 4 months. And I was just in need of deeper meaning. And so I decided to ultimately invest in different training programs.
That's quite
gone through a divorce. It was very traumatic, from financially, emotionally, psychologically, romantically. And I moved from Denver to Brooklyn, all within the span of like 4 months. And I was just in need of deeper meaning. And so I decided to ultimately invest in different training programs.
That's quite a journey. You going through a divorce post-pandemic, then leading all the way to life coaching.
That's been the positive thing that's come out of it, that it's this chance to be reborn. And I truly believe that getting coached is a privilege, but an investment in yourself. It's like this cheat code to
Guys, I think we have our intro, but I think the intro here is just starting a little bit too on the low side. One of the first things you mentioned early was let's do this. Let's move this up. I'm going to extend it here on this end. And let's listen now. One of the first things you mentioned early was your parents being divorced. Do you feel like that has affected you in any way?
Oh, 100%. Two different households, two different families. That definitely had a huge impact on me. And a lot of negative side effects that I wasn't even aware of. And I think one of the big ones for me probably was just not realizing how much it made me go in my own shell. In March of 2022, everything changed. I blew up my whole life. I quit my job. I had gone through a divorce. It was very traumatic, from financially, emotionally, psychologically, romantically. And I moved from Denver to Brooklyn, all within the span of like 4 months, and I was just in need of deeper meaning. And so I decided to ultimately invest in different training programs.
That's quite a journey. You're going through a divorce post-pandemic, then leading all the way to life coaching.
That's been the positive thing that's come out of it, that it's this chance to be reborn. And I truly believe that getting coached is a privilege, but an investment in yourself. It's like this cheat code to
Ho ho ho! Hey, I think we've got it. I think we've got the intro. And so now it's just time to clean up some stuff. So what I'm gonna do here is click on the the layer, and then I'm gonna go here to automatic multicam. And basically what this is gonna do is just gonna split the active speaker. So it's gonna make, when I talk, my face show, and then when Rico speaks, it's gonna make his face show. So here I am. One of the first things you mentioned early was your parents being divorced. All right, what I want to do with this scene is I want to just bring my head up to the top. And let me see, I'm pretty centered. So we're going to say done. I'm going to just hit Command C to copy this, go to this scene where I'm speaking again and hit paste. And then it's going to resize that automatically. And I'm going to do the same thing for Rico's scene. Just going to make Rico a little bit bigger. I think this is fine. Just make sure he's centered. I'm going to hit done. I'm going to hit copy here and paste. So let's see how this looks now. Let's go. Run the roll. One of the first things you mentioned early was your parents being divorced. Do you feel like that has affected you in any way?
Oh, 100%. 2 different households, 2 different families. That definitely had a huge impact on me, and a lot of negative side effects that I wasn't even aware of. And I think one of the big ones for me probably was just not realizing how much it made me go in my own shell. In March of 2022, everything changed. I blew up my whole life. I quit my job. I had gone through a divorce. It was very traumatic, from financially, emotionally, psychologically, romantically. And I moved from Denver to Brooklyn, all within the span of like 4 months. And I was just in need of deeper meaning. And so I decided to ultimately invest in different training programs.
That's quite a journey. You're going through a divorce post-pandemic, then leading all the way to life coaching.
That's been the positive thing that's come out of it, that it's this chance to be reborn. And I truly believe that getting coached is a privilege, but an investment in yourself. It's like this cheat code.
Oh. I like it a lot. Only thing, let me see.
Everything changed. I blew up my whole life. I quit my job. I had gone through a divorce. It was very traumatic.
Okay, everything changed. Let's open this up here because I think I just want to move some parts around. I might want to. In March of 2022, everything changed. Let's try this.
In March of 2022, everything changed. It was very traumatic.
No, one sec. this section here. I had gone through a divorce. I actually want to move this. Let's. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see.
March of 2022, everything changed. I had gone through a divorce. I blew up my whole life. I quit my job. It was very traumatic, from financial.
Nah. Let's keep it how it was. Let's keep it how it was. Let's keep it how it was. And so, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to do anything else but listen to it one more time.
One of the first things you mentioned early was your parents being divorced. Do you feel like that has affected you in any way?
Oh, 100%. 2 different households, 2 different families. That definitely had a huge impact on me. And a lot of negative side effects that I wasn't even aware of. And I think one of the big ones for me probably was just not realizing how much it made me go in my own shell. In March of 2022, everything changed. I blew up my whole life. I quit my job. I had gone through a divorce. It was very traumatic, from financially, emotionally, psychologically, romantically. And I moved from Denver to Brooklyn, all within the span of like 4 months. And I was just in need of deeper meaning. And so I decided to ultimately invest in different training programs.
That's quite a journey. You going through a divorce post-pandemic, then leading all the way to life coaching.
That's been the positive thing that's come out of it, that it's this chance to be reborn. And I truly believe that getting coached is a privilege, but an investment in yourself. It's like
post-pandemic, then leading all the way to life coaching.
That's been the positive thing that's come out of it, that it's this chance to be reborn. And I truly believe that getting coached is a privilege, but an investment in yourself. It's like this cheat code to
All right. We Gucci. We Gucci. We Gucci. We Gucci. We Gucci. We Gucci. Publish. And then I'm gonna just export the video, keep it max quality, max export, and I'm just gonna do it EP Rico intro. So after an hour and a half, we have our intro. All right, so now we have that done. We can go back to, while that's exporting, we'll go back to the main. And so the only thing that I'm going to do here now is, let's see where we are. Let's take a look. Find clips for intro, edit intro, export intro. Now make conversation. Let's see. We did all of this. How do you strike through? Nah. I can't remember the shortcut to. How do you strike through? I want to know how you strike through. Sorry, I'm emo like that. Strike through shortcut. Google Docs. Command Shift X. Command Shift X. Haha. All right. So make conversation dynamic with multicam view. Then we're going to add in the intro. Okay, so let's get that done. So like I already did it in the intro. So I'm going to do it here on the main episode as well. We're going to go to Underlore, the AI, and we're just going to hit automatic multicam. And what that's going to do, it's going to break up. It's going to break up every time I speak, Rico speaks, etc. And the only thing I want to do here is kind of like the edit what I did. And this is the only, I guess, manual thing that you will have to do, depending on how, But I'm going to copy this layout. So I'm going to just hit Command C. Go back here. And on every scene, what's going on? Hello. One sec. We're going to come here. Scene, copy layout. Let's go back to the main episode. It looks like I need to hit multicam again. Not sure what just happened there. And then every scene that I speak, I'm going to paste that layout so that I just zoom in. And I wish I could actually just like multi-select more scenes, but anyway. Oh shit, no. Reverse. Let's go back here. Because what was happening is I was pasting the music as well. So what I'm actually going to do is just going to do this. Make sure we're centered. And then hit copy here. Paste. Right now, I'm not even so sure if there was a quicker way to do this, but anyway, we're just gonna do this. Again, I could have just left it, but this is like the 1% improvements that you want to sometimes do and experiment over time, just to increase the quality output of your work. So I probably could have just left mine, but I'm in the process, so we're gonna just keep it moving. We are almost at the end. Then we're going to do the same thing for Rico's. Can I bring this up? I mean, the only thing I want to pay attention to, which I'm going to just check real quick, is if I did a split screen and I did less scene. If I just put this back on and I did this. something like this. Okay, anyway. We're gonna probably gonna do something like this. Anyway, let's close this. Oh, let's make this one invisible. And we're gonna just drag this across. Okay. We're gonna go with that resizing. So we're gonna hit here copy, and we're gonna do basically the same thing like we did. And the size Rico up. Paste. I guess here it would be good to mention as a tip, if you're gonna do like some general edits, like add captions or do some, type of color adjustment or sound adjustment, that you do that before you add the multicam feature, just because it just saves you this manual work afterwards, having to select each scene separately and then copy pasting. And probably Descript, they will improve upon this feature as time goes on, because if you're a user of Descript, you'll see very often you get the message that says restart now, which means there's a new update to add. But yeah, I just really love this form of editing. It has definitely increased my output, just having to focus on, at least on the desktop, one platform that I use for my content editing. All right, we're almost there. Yeah, this is so much better. All right, nice. And now, with that said, we're gonna jump to the beginning. We're gonna go to project. I'm gonna upload the intro. And then I'm just gonna drag that intro here. No, I don't want it as a layer. Insert into script. Yeah. Done. So what's that's gonna do? It's not just busy transcribing, but
One of the first things you mentioned early was your parents being divorced. Do you feel like that has affected you in any way?
Oh, 100%. Two different households, two different families, that definitely had a huge impact on me, and a lot of negative side effects that I wasn't even aware of. And I think one of the big ones for me probably was just not realizing how much it made me go in my own shell. In March of 2022, everything changed. I blew up my whole life. I quit my job. I had gone through a divorce. It was very traumatic, from financially, emotionally, psychologically, romantically. And I moved from Denver to Brooklyn, all within the span of like 4 months. And I was just in need of deeper meaning. And so I decided to ultimately invest in different training programs.
That's quite a journey that you're going through, a divorce post-pandemic, then leading all the way to life coaching.
That's been the positive thing that's come out of it, that it's this chance to be reborn. And I truly believe that getting coached is a privilege, but an investment in yourself. It's like this cheat code to get.
Okay, so we're at it again. Oh, that's pretty loud. What is going on there? Today's conversation is with a very special guest. It's with a good friend of mine that I've come to grow close to over the last, I think. All right. One thing that I realized that I should have done before adding the intro. One sec. This, I can see that this scene here still has to, yeah. Love the script. Is I should have added some captions. Why captions just add a bit more of a dynamic feel, but I'm not going to add captions to the rest of the conversation because I'll be posting on YouTube. This should be something that people can turn on. So I do want to add, so I'm going to go back to one of the last episodes. This was one I did with Kat. I'm going to head to intro, to the scene, and I just want to, oh wait, did I not add?
Selling things for students.
I did not add captions there, which is strange. And let's go to Tracy's episode. And here I did add the captions. My captions. Okay, I'll just hit copy from here and go back here. Intro. All right, let's hit paste. All right, so captions. Do you feel like that has affected? One of the first things you mentioned early was your parents being divorced. Do you feel like that has affected you in any way?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, then we're gonna add it here as well. And then we're gonna add it here.
Oh, 100%.
But for Rico, we can probably maybe let's see if we put him here.
Two different households, two different families that definitely had a huge impact on me. And a lot of negative side effects that I wasn't even aware of. And I think one of the big ones for me probably was just not realizing how much it made me go in my own shell. In March of 2022, everything changed. I blew up my whole life. I quit my job. I had gone through a divorce. It was very traumatic, from financially, emotionally, psychologically, romantically. And I moved from Denver to Brooklyn, all within the span of like 4 months. And I was just in need of deeper meaning. And so I decided to ultimately invest.
Okay, so I like that. We're gonna copy this layout, paste it here, and then we're gonna call
That's been the positive thing that's come out of it, that it's this chance to be reborn. And I truly believe that getting coached is a privilege, but an investment in yourself. It's like this cheat code to investment in yourself. It's like this cheat code to
anyway.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is good. So we're gonna publish this again. Export, and then we're gonna call this EP intro number 2. Save. We're gonna go back here. We're gonna take out this intro. Goodbye. I'm gonna wait for this other one to finish. All right, let's go back to give me 10 YouTube title suggestions. Let's say that spark curiosity. I mean, I don't focus a whole ton, and probably I should, on YouTube titles. My battery is dying. Anyway, let's just see. It's kind of like this transformation journey from divorce to becoming a life coach and now communications coach. Okay, the video is exported. Let's upload number 2 and then insert into script. Done. Yeah, and then okay, let's go to YouTube and let's. So again, one of my favorite creators is Omar. He does a podcast, The Department, and so I try to look at a lot of the principles that he uses when it comes to his titles, etc. And so he keeps his titles like fairly short, to the point, punchy. Let me see if he has anything with life coach in it. How to build a brand, level up your skills, how to create an offer. If I look at his videos and I go to the popular post, how to build a brand, genius advice for entrepreneurs, how to make your first million, the ultimate guide to creating a personal brand, level up your communication skills, build a business, how to attract, how to sell your knowledge, make more money online. So he doesn't have anything necessarily that reflects transformation. How to create an offer. All right, let's just say if we just search on divorce, life after divorce. Let me just see. Divorce, breakup, recovery. Thank you, divorce. Let me just put some keywords in here. Divorce plus life coach. So I'm here thinking. So Rico's story is pretty inspiring because he goes from experiencing divorce from a young age, then going through divorce himself after 10 years, to building the journey of building a successful successful coaching practice. If I go to my videos, which I had over here already, genuine advice. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm just looking for some points. So this was an honest conversation. So I'm thinking something along the lines of, let's see, done. Give me some YouTube title ideas that incorporate the transformation of 10 years marriage, going through divorce, quitting job, building confidence. What else? Building confidence, skill stacking, life coaching. Just some keywords. It's just life coaching, communications, coach. Let me just see. Just spark some ideas. From marriage to mastery, divorce, job loss, and rebirth. 10 years of transformation, overcoming obstacles. My decade-long journey. On this conversation, let's see. I know it. I've got it. I just saw this one. And what I'm thinking is something along the lines of, wait for it. Let's see how getting divorced changed his life. Does that spark curiosity? Yes. Does it sound genuine? Yes. Does it sound like you're gonna get some value out of it? Yes. And what's in it for the viewer? Because I also like to think about if we look at some of these, how to get people lining up to buy, how we always sell out. Because usually the thumbnail is what people are going to see first. So that also has to elicit some type of curiosity. Loop, it's never been this easy. No, we'll look for some how to build. So our title is, let me just put it to the top. Oh. I'm getting divorced. And I can copy. And then on the thumbnail, I think we can add something along the lines of we're gonna put maybe between quotation marks saying I blew up my whole life. Because basically that's what he said, right? Like, I blew up. He literally said, I blew up my whole life. Or let's see, just another idea. Okay, let's move this from here. Let's go here on this document. Let's see. What I'm also thinking is after 10 years of marriage, getting divorced changed his life. I think we're gonna go with this. And then this is what we're gonna add on the thumbnail. We're gonna do it just like that. And title, I'm gonna say that. After 10 years of marriage, getting divorced changed his life. Yeah, because this sums up everything. This sums up everything. Okay, so what's next? Make conversation let's finish making it dynamic. The only thing I do after, so yeah, we have the what you call it, the captions here. The only thing I like to do now is in the conversation itself, if there are long paragraphs, so roughly like this of text. So you see, this is like 4 minutes speaking. No, I lie. This is not 4 minutes speaking. This is minute and 43. What I like to do is I like to split the scene so that it's me speaking, or at least it's just both of our faces in view. And so then it just adds a little bit more dynamic to the conversation, and it's just like not one person speaking for a very long time, but now you can also see the other person's reactions while they're speaking. And so to do this, I'm just going to hit // hitting / creates a new scene. And so on this scene, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this like this. We're going to go to the scene and we're going to make visible my face as well. And just center this bad boy. Probably make this a little bit. Can I make this down? Can I make this a little bit higher? Just so that, we're kind of like lined up. So we do this. Maybe pull this down a bit. So it's like our chins are the same height. Chin, chin, chin. So I like that.
My dad lived in Denver. I grew up in Pueblo. And so I spent a lot of time on the road shuttling back and forth between my mom's and my dad's. And my dad...
Okay. So I'm just going to copy this scene, and then we're going to just look for more parts like this. So like, for example, here as well. And then we're going to hit paste. This is quite a long section as well. And so, yeah, but this breakpoint, we're going to do the same thing. And then we're just going to go through and just do that here as well. Again, keeping the conversation still raw, very minimal edited. I think there was even a section where I even coughed, but I'm not gonna be so anal about those things and delete. I mean, when you're having a conversation with your friends or someone and you cough, yeah, shit happens, right? So this was a long section, so we're just gonna break this up. We're gonna do that. Let's see, we're gonna do this. So we're gonna isolate this paragraph roughly till here. So we're gonna make, let's see, we're gonna make this one split, and then this one, he speaks, and then let's say here, we're gonna split so that we just keep this to where this section that's being highlighted to where he's speaking. And then somewhere here, we're gonna break up again. So let's say, let's just say I'm gonna do this. So then this, we're gonna make split. Then he speaks for a bit. I'm gonna come here and we're gonna probably just split this up one more time. Make this a scene. And then split this last section one more time. Let's just say here, so if you apply the principles, and then this. So basically what I'm just doing is just breaking it up, just adding, so that adds, again, just another layer of dynamic, and just keeping it a bit, fresh. Now we're just gonna go through and just look for some more. go right about here. We'll just add a scene. Add a scene. These aren't so bad. Somewhere here in the middle, we'll add a scene. And one tip, I mean, again, things like coughing, you might want to edit out, you might not want to edit out. But one thing, and this I learned from the first episode that I made, because when someone is talking, naturally what I want to do is, agree in between while they're talking. So say like, yeah, and oh, and stuff like that. But it can be very, let's say if you want to limit that when it comes to when you add the multicam, then I would just practice staying quiet when someone is speaking. And probably if there's a quick moment of pause, then you can, like make a gesture of some sort. But again, just try to keep it as natural as possible. When going through this process. Okay, wait, before I add the multi-scene here, let's break this part up. Add the multi-scene here, and then break this up. And then add it here. And we're almost at the end, Rico. Not this one. We're gonna just chop up some more as well. So let's see, we're gonna do just gonna break it up first and then okay, so Rico speaks, then this one we split the cam, and this one we split the cam again, and then he can speak here. Split here. We're almost there, we're almost there, we're almost there. And again, this is totally optional, but it's just something that I enjoy doing, again, as it just adds that layer. Anyway, so I'm finished. And guys, this is the podcast. This is basically the podcast. If I select, it's 1 hour and 10 minutes long. This is dope. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit publish. We're gonna choose YouTube, because that was the next step, right? We did this. We add the intro, and now we're gonna publish to YouTube. And then we're gonna publish audio to Spotify. All right, so to publish to YouTube, I can already add the title and the description here, but I'm just gonna leave it like this for now. I'm gonna hit sign into YouTube. We're gonna hit my account, continue. I'm gonna open Descript again. publish. Yeah, now it says publish. So I'm going to hit publish. And it's going to get sent off and published directly to my YouTube. So the great thing about this publishing feature is actually the fact that I don't have to download it necessarily first to my computer and then upload it to YouTube. It just goes directly to YouTube. So, you know, if you're big on space, this is definitely another reason why you can use Descript as your podcast editing software. We're going to go back to publish and export, and we're going to just take the audio. And I'm just going to export the audio into my folder, audio. We're just going to save. And the reason I do that is so I can publish it to Spotify. And so let's do that. So I use podcasters for Spotify. Again, I'm young in the podcaster space. You know, Andy's Canvas, nobody knows me. I got 23 plays so far, 14 episodes. I'm not going to complain. We're going to hit new episode. And let's see, video exporting audio. Okay, so audio is still exporting. So while that's exporting, the next step in our document was to come up with a title. Okay, so we came up with a title. Now we're going to add a description. Now for the description, so I have this workflow thing document that I made in Notion. I use Notion to organize my stuff. And so I have this prompt here. So it's basically a prompt that says write this description, and I took one of Omar's short description that he has under his videos, gave that as reference, and now I'm gonna ask the Underlord to write a description for me based on my episode by using, referencing that other description from Omar. And so let's see what they're going to draft. Because what I'm going to do is basically take this, because it's usually very short. We're going to go to channel content. Let's hit refresh. Okay, so it's not yet here. So in the meantime, in between time, let's just go under here. Let's just do description. In this episode, so I just want to say, I sit down with Rico, content creator and communication school, to dive deep into the journey of finding meaning, rebuilding life, and investing in oneself. He shares, I'm going to just keep it, he shares his transformative experiences of overcoming divorce, taking a career sabbatical, and embracing the challenges of life coaching. Through candid stories and profound insight. Rico reviews the power of resilience, the importance of self-investment, and the nuances of effective communication. Through candid stories and profound insights. I'm just going to say through his stories and experience. Provides insights. And I'm just gonna say, so this sounds a little bit more conversational. let's just see if I take this. Now take the following version and make it a bit more conversational. And inviting. Let me just see what they come up with. Yeah, I like this. So this is version 2. Join me as I sit down with Rico Fantastica. In this, we dive deep into the incredible journey of finding meaning, we will and effort in investing once every goal. Love it, love it, love it. Insights on, let's just break it down, the power of resilience, the importance of and the art of effective communication. Boom. Don't miss this episode. Then you don't definitely want to miss this episode. Love it. And then what I want to do is get the regular description so I can add the timelines. And so we're going to just hit done. And then we're going to just do YouTube this, YouTube description. Just gonna hit submit, and usually in this description what comes out is a timeline of different points in the conversation, and I just love that because I can just like copy and paste this. Boom. I'm just gonna add this under here, timelines. And I'm just going to usually take out this one because the 19 seconds is part of the intro, and I don't want to add that. It's just to give a general idea of where we are in the conversation. So it's just for the listener, to, what am I doing? This is already good. Okay. This is good. This is good. This is good. I'm going to take Kat's episode. I'm going to just copy everything. We're going to go back. We should have this. Here we go. It's coming. In the meantime, we can edit. So this is just to provide a guideline. So we're going to go here. Join me together with these. With the timeline. I'm gonna paste. And again, none of this is set in stone. You can always come back and change the title and all that good stuff. So this is the title, and I have a, this is my template, guest hosted template. So I'm just gonna copy this, paste this. So then we're going to take 10 years, and then we're going to do title, and then guest name is Rico Lazo. 10 years of marriage. What was the title? Because now it doesn't make sense. After. After 10 years of marriage, getting divorced changed his life. Rico Lazo, the Baupad. Episode number 14. Okay. Now this was Cairo, so here we're going to say Rico Lazo. Rico Lazo. And then he doesn't have a website that he wants to share at this time, at least. Again, we can always add that. And then here, I have a club. I have a community called the Confident Creator Club that I'm just putting there for people to join if they kind of like what I'm doing and want to be a part and maybe just get like support on their creator journey, because this is a creator journey after all with a podcast. And if they want to create their own community, they can sign up for their own community, etc. Here I have listen on Spotify, so I'm going to leave this blank for now until we get that set up, until we get the link. So in the meantime, I'm just going to hit save. We're going to go here. I'm going to take the audio file, published audio. This is the most recent one. And then I'm just going to take this description and we're going to paste it here in Spotify as well. We're going to take the title. See, how did I do? Yeah, and then I think I did add Rico Lazo. Yeah, we're just going to add it like that in there. And then I do want to add to connect with Rico. So I'm just going to add it like this. Connect with Rico. And since on Spotify you can add the link, I'm just going to add the link in here and then do the same thing for Instagram. So I'm going to do those two, and let's just double check. Let's go to threads. Let's look for Rico. Yeah, Rico Lazo. We'll go to Instagram. Rico Lazo, so that's good. But then we're also going to do TikTok. Rico Lazo. I'm going to take this because he's also quite active on TikTok. So then we're going to do TikTok because that's his number one platform that he's active on. I'm going to add that link there as well as here on YouTube. TikTok. Okay, save changes. All right, so here we can do. We're gonna schedule this. I like to schedule mines for Fridays. 10:45. I will we just do yes, no. This is still season 1, episode 14. And here I'm gonna come in and change the cover art. And then actually for this video, we're gonna also schedule. And then I usually do also then Friday, but then I'm gonna do 11 o'clock. So, I mean, I do 11 o'clock so that I get the link from Spotify after it's been posted, and then I can plug it in here, and then have it also posted. Oh shit. Schedule. At 11. Done. Save. Let's refresh. Let's see if the video image is not here as yet. But in any case, boom, it's ready to be posted on YouTube. Almost ready to be posted on Spotify. So we basically did this. We did this. And now we're going to create the thumbnail. Now, so to create the thumbnail, I'm just going to look for a still image. Again, this is just the current process. Okay, and so like the image I want, I mean, you know, it just shows my guest in a good light. Just open these up. You know, so I just want to look for where they're smiling and stuff. And that's usually at the beginning of the conversation. So let's go to the beginning. I don't know, something about this one just... Oh, default. Ugh. Why not? Let's just do a print screen, this, and then we look for one of Rico. Let's see. Man, smiling faces. Let me see. Let's just check the post quick. me see. This one, the eyes are not so open. Yeah, I like this. Even though there's some glare by the eyes, what I want to do quickly is just stretch it. Let's see. Beautiful smile, Rico. Beautiful smile, Rico. Then we're gonna just do side by side and just undo that for now. Okay. Then we're gonna go to Figma, because Figma is what I use. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy this, and then this is, I like to just give it the title. Boom. We delete this, and then sec. Desktop, I'm gonna get okay, so now we create our thumbnail. And so I like to use this. I just basically made this so I can center, make sure the head is centered. But you're gonna see what I mean in a bit. Image. Let's put up the exposure a bit. Put up the exposure, the saturation. Just make it pop a bit more. Some contrast. Yeah, I think that's good. And I mean, Rico's is pretty good already. And maybe we just kill the saturation a bit. Tad bit. I don't want too much. We're almost at the end, guys. We're almost at the end. A little less saturation. Okay, perfect. All right, so now what I want to do is we're going to put this on the canvas. I'm going to stretch this out. And so I want my head to be like in the middle, or at least like my nose here, because then I know that's like roughly the center here. Because we're going to have them side by side. And then we're going to just put this to the back. Same thing for Rico's image. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stretch this to the top. I mean, yeah, this is good. All right, so, okay, I can't see because of this thing here. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna do it like this. Select the image. We're gonna turn this up 100. I'm gonna make this this is the other end of the video. One sec. Let me see if I can. Oops. Shit. What did I do? Just so you can see exactly what's happening. We're going to make this color white. And then this one doesn't matter so much because it's still transparent. Or actually maybe it does. Kind of like it like this better. And then we're going to hit blend mode is multiply. And then we're going to just move. Let me take the picture out so you can actually see what's going on. So we're going to move this over that is just not on my face. And we're going to bring this. Let's just leave it here for now. And then we're going to see when we do Rico's on, like what happens. Like that. Okay. And for Rico, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring this up to 100. I'm going to make this white. Pass through, multiply, and then the stop. I'm going to bring the stop roughly here, and then we don't want to pass. Oh wait, what's? All right, so and now we're gonna just play with these a bit. And this is just basically how we're gonna get that blend effect. Like the pictures are merging into one another. And I mean, yeah, you can get as anal as you want about it, but I mean, yeah, there are worse things to worry about. Boom, I like this. Boom. What I'm gonna do is just make the image a bit bigger so that it kind of like lines up with Rico. Yeah. Chain down a bit more. This is good. This is good. We look like we're ready to get into this conversation. And so the title we were going to say is what was it? I blew up my whole life. And this is not something I get too anal about. You know, done is better than perfect. I blew up my whole life. I like this. I like this. And so we're gonna duplicate this bad boy and we're gonna create the cover art. So this is YouTube and then this is gonna be for Spotify. And so we want this to be 1280. And then we're just gonna make the necessary adjustments. Oh, one sec. Okay. Oh, we want to unlink. Ugh. One sec. All right, so let's just make these adjustments to the cover art, and then we're probably gonna have to adjust these as well. It's probably not gonna be blended the most smooth. But we can tweak. Again, the cover art on Spotify is gonna be quite small anyway. Why do I have? All right, so then we're gonna take this. Let me see, the size of the text here is about 112. So we're gonna do this, crank this up to 112. And then for this as well. All right, so that's it. We have our cover art for Spotify. We have our cover art for Instagram. So let's export these. Export, save, and then this export, because it has the same name. We're just gonna do Spotify. And now we go back here. And we're gonna add that thumbnail. Upload. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then we're gonna go here, change. Love it. Next, next. Schedule. Boom, that's gonna be schedule. YouTube is going to be scheduled. And that's essentially it. Almost 3 hours in. And we edited a full episode from A to Z. We can scratch these off. And call it a session. I hope you guys found value in this if you made it up until this point. Again, I just wanted to do this so I could have essentially just put the whole process down, and hopefully it helps someone. See you guys in the next tutorial.